Less than 24 hours ago, it was 42 degrees, sunny and beautiful. It's now 19 and dropping, wind chill of 8 degrees, and it's snowing. This is winter backpacking in Pennsylvania. Dun dun dun. What's going on? So I decided to check out the north loop of the Pinchot Trail. The last two trips I've done overnights have been on the south loop. And I've hiked parts of the north loop. I haven't done the whole thing. So I'm going to register here. And I'm not going to get too close up with Adam Z. Adam Z Adventures. You were just here recently. I think you're just here this weekend. Overnighting. All right. So, bringing my GPS with me, and I haven't been carrying it with me. I was carrying it with me. I was going up into the Catskills and stuff. So I figured I would carry it with me on this trip, and I will. I can get it on my strap here, and I will mark any campsites and interesting features that I see, because I have noticed that I mean, it's a good thing that Pinchot State Forest DCNR has been doing work to the Pinchot Trail, and in some places they've actually rerouted it to where it's no longer where the maps say it goes. So I figured this will be a little more accurate map. And I'll put it up probably on my website. I'll put the tracks. There's something I was kind of planning on doing a long time ago. I just never got around to doing it. Maybe I'll start doing it now. Actually putting GPS data up for some places I go. So I will put a link to that down in the bottom if I get it up while I'm doing the editing. If not, I'll link to it in another video. But this is the north loop, like I said, and it's 10 miles roughly round trip. I'm gonna hike back to around Painter Creek. It's about halfway, I think. But here's the weather situation for this week. Now, as you can tell, we have no snow. Yeah, I wasn't planning on doing a trip, but it's about less than a half mile from where I'm standing right now, that direction. A couple days ago, testing the Silky Gomboy, and it made me just want to get out. But just a couple days ago, well, last week, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, so about 8 days ago, I was a couple miles from this spot on the south loop, hammock camping in the snow. And there's nothing. It got warm last week. It was up into the high 50s, 60s in some areas. We had rain. It was just generally, as far as winter weather goes, miserable. Gotta do some readjusting here. Just miserable for winter weather. Now, some people like it, I guess, but as you can tell, there's nothing left. So the south loop is just going to be swamp, basically. That's much lower land. As you can tell, we're going up here. So figured I'd do the north loop, check it out, test out the Gomboy a little more robustly than the half hour I messed with it earlier this week. But tonight it's supposed to snow. That's supposed to get much, maybe an inch. That's what they're saying. They've been wrong before. It could be rain. We could get a foot. You never know around here. So this is what I was hoping not to find. Flooded out sections of the trail. So hopefully this doesn't go too far. I'm trying to keep my feet dry. All right, so from what I can tell, I'm probably about halfway to where I think I'm going to camp. But I just crossed over Sassafras Hill Road, and it changes from Sassafras Hill Trail to, it looks like the North Line Trail right here. And I'm glad to be out of the bramble, the underbrush, although it looks like I'm about to go back into it here a little bit. Hopefully for not too long. And it's not warm enough to really be worried about ticks, but still. But there's these fields right here. And I'm imagining out in these little spots here. Oh, no hurry, let's go take a look. Is this a fire ring? No, it's not a fire ring. Well, yeah, it is a fire ring. It's an old fire ring, hasn't been used in a while. You can set up a tent back there. Probably get back here in the trees and set up a hammock. Listen. Nothing. Just wind in my creaky backpack. Yeah. One of the funny things I've noticed as I've been using the current setup I'm using, this microphone picks me up breathing like crazy, and I'm like, am I out of breath? Like, what's going on? It just picks up that good. When I'm moving, I'm breathing harder, but sometimes this just sounds like I'm like, oh, this is cool here. Whoa, oh, a little swamp. Oh, what's that over there? I don't think I'm at the creek yet. This is pretty cool. Another cool spot. Oh, this is awesome. Just a little ways down the trail, completely different little ecosystem up here. And what is that? Let's take a look at the map. Looks like it's a little pond or... Come on. Nothing shows up on the GPS, or on the GPS, on the map there. There, nothing shows up there. There's more rocks over here. This is all glacial dump up here. It doesn't sound real appealing, but this whole area, we're not far from the edge of the glacial sheet that sat over us and smoothed off these mountains. Get down a little further south from here, Hickory Run State Park, and it's actually where the line went through. So you get a lot of these areas where you get just these massive piles of boulders for what seems to be no apparent reason, but it is simply they got moved here by the glaciers. These rocks could be from up in northern Canada for all I know. But this is, that's a cool little pond that doesn't exist on the map. Well, that's awesome. This little tree. Almost fell down. Almost fell down. We're watching the water, not looking at the rocks. I'm at the Watrous Trail. I know where I am now. Kinda. That is a really, really cool little spot. I am actually surprised there's not a campsite right here, because this would be a really neat spot to set up camp. But you got all this bush, all this bramble. So the Watrous Trail. So the Watrous Trail, the Watrous Reservoir is out that way. Don't know how far. Not going that way. That doesn't show up on a map that I had. Well, the trail does, but not. So right there. So yeah, the Watrous Trail takes you out to the Watrous Reservoir, which I've hiked around the Watrous Reservoir. And let's see, what else would be close there? A couple videos from early 2017 where we were over in the state forest, or is it not the state forest over there now? State game lands? I think it's part of state forest now. And takes you over to around the Watrous Trail. The reservoir itself is not forest lands, but surrounded by forest lands. That takes you over to that section. Can't remember what videos they were. I'll link them in the description if you want to go check them out. Different style of video, but cool. I know the one video I shot over there was right after that tornado came through, which is weird. Almost exactly a year ago, it was in February, and had a tornado actually touch down not far from here. Did a lot of damage. Luckily nobody got killed. I don't think anybody really even got hurt. I don't remember hearing any reports of it, but there was a lot of property damage. It does happen around here. We do get tornadoes occasionally. Okay, I'm gonna get back to concentrating on hiking. So that was coming to a trail intersection here, and I'm not. It's just the trail changes names. That's weird. Yeah, it's just that's just a little bizarre that the trail just changes names right in the middle. But yeah, is what it is. All right, so I've made it to the Painters Creek Trail junction here, and we're heading down that way. Just came along the Hayes Run Trail. Now this, when I say intersection, it's just the trail just changes names. We're at a turn, just came from down there. And now we're going this way. So Painter Creek rather, I hear water out here. I don't know if that's coming out on the microphone. The jet is, I bet. All right, so I'll let that guy go ahead. This is pretty cool. This is a nice site. So let me mark this, but I will continue on. Oh, look at that. I got birch bark. There's birches right in the site. Big birches. So one thing you always want to look for when you're checking the site is you want to look up, and then right off the bat, there's a branch hanging in that tree. So I wouldn't want to camp right underneath that. But there's other options that look decent. I'd have to check that. All right, so let's see what else we got here as far as sites. So we're right by the lake, right by the river here. So what's over here? Trail goes that way. Just met at the other side of the Watcher Sloop. I do remember this spot. Oh, I know exactly where I am now. Yeah, I do remember hiking through here with my buddy. We looked at this and thought, oh, this would be a beautiful place to camp. There's a little waterfall right there. It's over here. There's another site right on the water. Little fire ring. There's another one over here. This is a little more open. It's got a tree down across it. Oh yeah, that tree came right down. And this is usable. But I'm kind of liking this little site right here. Right by this little confluence. Right down from the falls. I think this is home for tonight. This is beautiful right here. Look at my view. There's no branches up above me. All right, so I don't know if I've ever shown this. I made this strap. This is a piece of webbing with a buckle on it that you can adjust, and a loop to hold the carabiner. And I just use this to hold my pack. I see a lot of people just use string or rope or whatever they got, but I like this because it's a little more adjustable. Well, I shouldn't say more adjustable than a piece of string, but it can hold a little more weight, I think, especially when you got a backpack, a full backpack. And then the carabiner Also has a flint on it. So just in case I need one, I got an extra means of making a fire. And then all I do is I use the grab handle on the back of the pack. There you go. Keeps your pack off the ground. I can throw the rain cover on at night. Keeps it dry. Beautiful. So a little change of plans. I'm going to relocate. I was just doing a little scouting. There's a site with a tree down. Come back there a little bit further. It's at the very end of this little peninsula. It's a little further off the trail. Gorgeous back there. Let's go check it out. So there's a couple fire pit. There's a little fire, I don't know what you call that. I have to do a little reconfiguring on that to fix that. There's a little fire pit there. Plenty of trees. No deadfall or widow makers over me. Still right next to the water. But I mean, there's not gonna be a lot of people on the trail. I'm not really worried about that. But this is pretty cool right here. I like it. New home for the night. All right, so I pretty much got camp set for the most part. I want to reconfigure this fire ring a little bit because this is kind of like a pile of stones, and still got about an hour or so of light to do that. There's some wood right here around camp and a lot of dead standing, but I really need to eat. So I got chicken and provolone. All right, let's just do this. I'm gonna need to make a little room here. This thing's frozen. This would be a little easier if all the ashes and everything are frozen solid in there. I don't have time to really dig it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make kind of a semicircle here if I can with some of these rocks that are still sitting here. All right. That'll do. Let's go find some wood. Let's see. Never would have attempted something like that with that little saw I had. All right, well, that's one piece. Let's see what else I can find. That'll do. Now I just gotta get it back to camp. There you go. Now just get this back down to camp, process this up, and be good to go. Whew. A little warm when you're cutting a tree. It's a lot darker in here than up there in the deciduous trees, but got the water. Well, oh, that was a lot further than I thought. That was easily a quarter mile I just looked at. I'll get your blood pumping. There we go. Nice. I sharpened the axe. Huge difference. I know this seems like I'm putting a lot of work into this. I am. This is a lot of sawing. Now, compared to what I saw us do with the, a much softer wood, it just blew right through that pine, which you'd expect. But I don't know what this is. This could be. There's no bark really left on it. It's a really hard wood. And this is hard. This could be oak. I'm thinking it might be. But even as much as I'm sawing through this, this is more firewood than I probably need for the night. More firewood than I've ever had backpacking, that's for sure. And I wouldn't even attempt something like this with the. I wouldn't even attempt something like this with the little gator saw in the axe. I just find large branches and cut them up and just keep on hunting for wood. It's gonna make things camp life much easier once all the wood's processed. Look at that. Look at how dense those rings are. I don't know if you can see that. Alright, so it's been like, I don't know, 2 hours. I've been sitting here trying to keep this fire going. Apparently I have found fireproof wood. Here I thought this tree that I found was going to be awesome. This wood seemed perfect, seemed really dry. I've been able to build up heat, but it just will not stay lit. And while I've been doing that, I completely forgot to eat dinner. So I'm going to do that now. So what I'm going to make on the menu for this evening is kind of a duplicate from what I had last week, which was kind of like trail tacos, except for I don't have any more tortillas. So instead, I'm going to add it to some ramen. And I will be using, again, my, you probably can't see that, but my Esbit stove. Used this for the first time last week, and I really liked it. I would cook on the fire, but I can't guarantee it's going to stay going. All right. Yeah, that'll help. Oh, just my matches. This is the best this fire has burned all night. Ooh. Probably before I light that, I should put some water in the cup here. So right around down to the eat. That should be good. So use my Reflectix pouch, which has my spork in it. Can't believe I forgot that last time. Well, last time I was on a solo trip. I had it with me for the last trip. I really only need it for breakfast. And I got all my stuff in this lock sack again. This thing comes in handy. It's like a super heavy duty I think I'm getting Skittles for dessert. Super heavy duty Ziploc bag. And there's the noodles themselves. So, or not the noodles. This is it's like pasta, So this is the main part of the meal. It's beef, beans, rice, peppers, onions, and some chili powder and stuff like that in there. So I'll put that in my Reflectix. And also have my ramen noodles. And I had just enough time to get camp set up and get some firewood. I didn't really have time to get good kindling. And that's kind of the reason why I had a hard time getting it started. I got it to start, but everything's damp. With the runoff from the warm-up we had in the beginning of the week, and I don't usually break these, but I think I will for this. And the rain we had, and it's just everything damp. Kind of sucks. There's the flavor packet. You know what? I might just add that flavor packet. Like chicken tacos. I have no idea if this is going to work. Absolutely no idea. But it'll be interesting, that's for sure. Try to mix it up a little bit. Ooh. Put in the... Where the hell did that go? Put in the flavor packet. Camp cooking at its finest. I have the sneaking suspicion this is going to be disgusting. But it's food. So this little thing works pretty good. I'll just use my phone here to get this shot. Got a shot of this last time, but so that little fuel cube just burns right along. It's burning better than the fire. So I'll do this too. So I'm sitting here. This has happened twice now. So out of the corner of my eye, there's nobody out here. Out of the corner of my eye though, let's see if I can get it. I'm seeing that. You see that? Looks like a fire off in the distance. It's just it's just the fire reflecting off of, I can't even tell what that is in my pack. Probably looks like maybe the GPS, but it'll freak you out if you don't Oh, okay, that's boiling really good. That's boiling really, really good. Might not be enough water. Let's see. I don't know if that's going to be enough water. I'm going to have to put it in here and maybe lay it down. Just lay it down so it does a little better. And then unfortunately there's not enough there to... I mean, how hot's the stove? Kind of hot. Kind of flick you into the fire. And I just let that cook. I wait. What the hell was that? I've had a harmonica for years, and I've never really tried to learn how to play one of these. I got this nicer metal one, and I got this set of them. And I just thought they were, when I ordered them, I thought they were just these black harmonicas, but they're plastic. But they're fun to have. You're out here waiting for your food to cook. I've got no phone service out here, unfortunately. So I can't, unfortunately only because I'd like to see what the weather's going to do. If it's going to stay as cold as they said or not. This is really a cool little stove. Very impressed with it. Mush this all together. Get all mushy. Actually, doesn't look half bad. Let's see if any of this even. dehydrate it right. Not dehydrated, all right. So a lot of times it's hard to eat out of a bag. So all I'll do is I'll just put, oh, there you go. I might be able to see that. A lot of times I'll just put the bag in the cup. Especially if it's something like this where I'm not really going to reuse the bag. I'll tear the seams a little bit, then fold it down over the cup. And it makes it a little easier to eat out of a bag. So I'll do like so. I was looking at the map earlier, and I'm a little more than halfway around the loop. I'm not sure. I think they rerouted part of the Pinchot Trail. It used to go down along the Boundary Trail. I don't think it does that anymore. I think it turns and goes down past the Pine Hill overlook, or lookout, or tower, whatever they call it, which is the way I'm going to go anyway. So that puts me like 4.5 miles back to the car, roughly. So with the detour up to the tower, which is only a few hundred yards up the hill, it'll be about the same. It'll be just about even. It'll be about a 10-mile hike all the way. Okay, so it's about 11 o'clock. Been sitting in the hammock for about an hour and a half. I gave up on that fire. It just did not want to cooperate. But I've just been sitting here listening to the creek and the insane amount of air traffic. I'm starting to think that the dream I had when I was over at Keller Swamp about the jets, maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe I was really hearing jets. I heard at least 2 helicopters. Bunch of jets fly over. I don't know. That's weird. But so time to go to sleep. I'm tired. Good day. 5 miles in. If I would have got here a little sooner, probably would have had better luck with that fire. I just didn't have good kindling. Didn't really have time to grab it. And everything was kind of wet with the weather we've had, so I mean, I stayed warm. It wasn't horrible. So, if I hear some owls tonight, I'll hit the recorder and get them, or hear something else. Otherwise, I'm going to go to bed, and I will catch up with you guys in the morning. Get this light out of my face. Oh, it's so bright.